We're here to talk about Wildstar, and you're watching Connected Digital World.
Andrew from Connected Digital World here. As you know, I'm a big fan of NCSoft's forthcoming MMO, Wildstar. Back at Gamescom a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit down with Jeremy Gaffney, who's the executive producer, to talk all about Wildstar and what's happening. Enjoy the video.
Exiles are gonna win this war.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, my pleasure.
Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Absolutely. I am Jeremy Gaffney. I'm executive producer for Carbine Studios, and we are making Wildstar.
So we've talked about Wildstar before. So for those who haven't seen the video with Frost, do you want to tell us a little bit about Wildstar, what it is, and why people should be playing it?
Absolutely. Although Frost does a better job. Once you have Frost, he's done enough videos. You want him to narrate your life for you, and so that's what I'm looking forward to in life, is having Frost follow behind me, narrating everything I do. So what's Wildstar? Wildstar, it's kind of a crazy world. There's this race called the Elden. They have the best magic, they have the best technology, but they've disappeared and nobody actually knows what's happened to them. And so you as the player get to go through this sort of crazy world. Everything's going haywire, and try to put it to rights and make your way through it. And so that means awesome combat, tons of it. It means high variety combat with lots of different things going on. Cool dungeons, cool raids. We do war plots, or like giant fortresses. You build them up and then fight them against each other, like chock full of raid bosses and other good powerful stuff. So it's got a lot to it, both at the low level and at the high level. We're trying to have a good experience.
So here at Gamescom, you've announced a few new things this week.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about each of those in turn. So you talked about crowd control, so tell us a little bit about that.
So we did a dev speak on crowd control. For those who don't know dev speak, basically Frost narrates through kind of like basic MMO features and some complex ones, and talks about our philosophies on the subject. And so with crowd control in particular, we love crowd control. It feels good to like attack a monster, knock them down, and kick the crap out of them. Crowd controls stuns and knockbacks and all that. But there's two things that suck. Normally, it sucks when it happens to you and you can't do anything. You sit there and you're stunned for 10 seconds. It kind of sucks. And also, as you get all these great abilities and you can't use them on bosses. The boss is immune to this in a dungeon or a raid because it'd be too easy if everyone could just knock him on his butt. So for us, we put in a system both so you can break out of stuns when they happen to you, and if you coordinate with your group, you can actually do them even in big, tough fights. And so because of this, it makes for just a much more dynamic experience.
And you've also talked about a new class.
Well, we haven't revealed new classes yet, but I admit we're getting close to it. We did two of the races a little bit ago, our psychopathic hamster race called the Chua, and our sort of emo, elven, cursed race called the Mordash. But classes we're keeping quiet for a little bit longer.
Damn, I was trying to get that out of you.
Yeah, that was an excellent attempt, actually.
You've done this before. During the demo, you also showed off raids and dungeons. Do you want to talk about those?
Sure. When we built our combat system, we wanted like fast action combat. We didn't want like one monster versus one monster. We want like hordes of creatures for you to fight and kill. And we were thinking low level mostly, but it turns out the system we made gives really complex and interesting higher level gameplay. So in a dungeon, for instance, the Telegraph, where we teach players how to dodge out of an area, well, now those get huge and epic. All sorts of them are going off. Big epic things happen in the battle. Whirlwinds are flying around. It's a big, awesome fight, and it's fast-paced. But also you can communicate with your telegraph. You mark it on the ground what you're going to do, and then your party members can react. That's how you coordinate interrupt armor. That's how you, I'm going to create a hell pit in the middle of the room, and all the warriors go around and kick everybody. So we have animation here, right here. All the warriors kick all the extra monsters into the hell pit in the middle. This is the kind of stuff that makes combat interesting and complex, and we do this by introducing these concepts at very low level.
And how does group gameplay work?
So group gameplay, it's not just about coordinating the right set of classes, but also your path has an impact too. Your path is your game style. I like to explore, I like to socialize. And so because of this, we try to give different things in each dungeon, and even more so in the raid, different things for the different kind of play styles. But what it's all about is communication. The nice thing about having that telegraph combat is not just that it's action-packed, but also it allows you to communicate in real time. You can't go in voice chat and like more dots. That kind of works, but you certainly can't type in text. But what you can absolutely do is paint on the ground your strategy with your team and then all execute at once. So it's more coordinated group gameplay.
And you also this week announced your business model.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
It's been a busy ass week, hasn't it?
I was going to say, you guys have had a lot on.
It's been rocking. Well, we have two options. You can play as sort of a sub game. A lot of people are used to it, but we know people hate business models, almost all of them. And so for people who hate subs, they don't think a sub is worth it, or they don't want to play sub games, awesome. We provide cred. Cred is play, earn gold, and then you can trade your gold to other players for cred, and then you can cash cred in for a month of game time. So if you hate subs, awesome. Earn your cred, play the game, never pay a sub if you don't want to, just by earning gold in the game. And so we think it's kind of win-win. The benefits is a sub game, but also options to sort of play without having to pay a sub every month.
So what's next that you're going out?
God only knows. Stuff that's coming up. We got classes to show off. We have raids to show in detail, because those have gotten quite fun in our tests. We have war plots to talk about more. One of the cool things about dungeons and raids is capturing the bosses, pinning them down on your PvP map, and sending them out to go destroy the enemy fortress. That is quite cool in practice, and so we'd like to show stuff after it's cool. We'd like to not promise hype and all that kind of stuff, but stuff that might or might not suck. So we have all that and then more. We also have so many zones in the game we haven't shown. We were starting to realize that we better get hopping, because we're something like 250 hours of content now to level. And so in doing that in half-hour demo bursts is quite difficult to show everything. So so we have a lot more coming up that we better start revealing.
And if people want to find out more about Wildstar, where do they go?
Come to our website, wildstar-online.com. Sign up for the beta. That has been super, super popular. It was more popular even than we expected. So we're going to try to expand our beta, get more people in, especially in October timeframe, lead our way up into open beta so we get everybody in who we can pour in. And as part of that, also we'll start doing big stress tests to give everybody a little taste of what's going on. So there's a lot more coming up in future months.
Mission unlocked.
And last question then, what's your favourite character so far?
I have to admit, I am partial to the Chua, our psychopathic hamster race as I described it. But I heard someone calling it in the hallway, actually. They saw our advertising and said, oh, look, it's some sort of a steampunk squirrel. So I don't know, steampunk squirrel's not a bad way of describing that too. They're a ton of fun because they're all pranksters. Their quests are very fun because they're sort of mischievous. And then within that, I like Spellslinger. I like bouncing around, doing a ton of damage, whipping about the battlefield and sort of running around like a crazed monkey, is my style of gameplay, as my friends would attest to. Not always successful in raid and dungeon environments, but I enjoy it. So there you go.
We look forward to finding out more about Wildstar in the coming months.
Good deal. Thanks so much.
Very much for your time.
Indeed. Thank you.
So thanks again to Jeremy for talking to us at Gamescom. And if you haven't seen our exclusive interview and gameplay with Stefan Frost, you can do so by clicking on the screen now. And if you haven't subscribed to us, why haven't you? But don't worry, click on the subscribe button on the screen now.